Russia has always been at the forefront of military development, but for years it has encountered various problems when upgrading its air fleet. Today we are going to analyze a very particular case, that of the Su-75 Checkmate, a mysterious aircraft that, according to the national company Rostec, should go into production in just 5 years. Despite Vladimir Putin's enthusiasm, those deadlines seem increasingly impossible to meet. Why is Russia having so much trouble with its latest air projects? Join us to find out in this new episode of Military Aviation. The Russian aerospace industry is in deep trouble over its two most important military aviation projects. At the moment, the Su-57 Felon, despite its impressive features and novel design, has not managed to go into series production. But the worst thing is that the next project seems to be on the way to a similar failure. The new Su-75 Checkmate, the futuristic fighter unveiled to much fanfare by Vladimir Putin, may not materialize on schedule. The Su-75 Checkmate is Russia's attempt to produce an exportable fifth-generation fighter to compete in the international market. It was unveiled at the 2021 MAKS Airshow as a cheaper F-35 with better features than the JAS-39 Gripen offered by Sweden. The Kremlin designed the Su-75 specifically for sale to countries without their own aircraft industry, and it is based on the platform of the Su-57, Russia's first fifth-generation fighter. However, since its release, the Checkmate hasn't had the best of luck. According to the Kremlin, the Su-75 Checkmate is a fifth-generation stealth fighter that uses a single engine, with which it is expected to reach a maximum speed of Mach 2. According to the designers, it will have a range of almost 3,000 kilometers and it will be capable of carrying a payload of 7,400 kilograms, much of which will be housed in its weapons bay. In terms of creativity and avionics, it will inherit many of the developments implemented in the Su-57, but with important updates. Keep in mind that Sukhoi's aircraft was designed 20 years ago, and due to various delays, it only entered service in 2019. To detect enemies, the Checkmate would use an active array radar capable of tracking up to 30 targets in real time and continuously, a state-of-the-art electronic warfare system, and the Matryoshka system, useful for controlling flight systems. The avionics include the new Hibani-M and Himalaya-M systems, both modernized in 2019 in radar, electromagnetic and telecommunications security. Not much is known about its dimensions, but according to the official project, the Su-75 Checkmate will weigh just 18 tons, which is surprising considering that the F-35 weighs 30 tons. In a presentation made in 2021, Sergei Kemezov, CEO of Rostec, the company Sukhoi is part of, announced that the Su-75 will carry a group of integrated drones that will be able to engage 6 enemies simultaneously. Plans are also underway to build an unmanned version that can be coordinated with a manned model thanks to an artificial intelligence system. Another possibility is that a 2-seat version will be built, one with short takeoff and landing and another capable of operating from aircraft carriers. Regarding the unmanned Checkmate, Yuri Slyuser, CEO of United Aircraft Corporation, announced that work on that model has been ongoing since the early design stages. Fundamental to Russian doctrine, the unmanned version can create an attack team integrated with other unmanned aircraft at the service of a pilot, who can be on the ground or in the air. Perhaps most impressive is that the aircraft will be priced at around $30 million per unit, which is extremely low compared to the $80 million an F-35 currently costs. But the Su-75 is still just a project and only 2 non-functional full-scale models exist. At the airshow where the aircraft was presented, Russia assured that it would have a prototype capable of flying by 2023, starting serial production by 2027 at the latest. But given the war with Ukraine, the ongoing problems with Su-57 production, and the ambitiousness of the new aircraft, those deadlines are likely to be missed. North American experts have their doubts regarding this aircraft and how possible its production is. Although Russia has a powerful military industry that has developed spectacular weapons, it is also true that its recent air projects have not come to fruition, or to a good hangar to be more precise. There is also the question of the quality of the weapons that have been produced in recent years. Some estimate that the Kremlin's cruise missiles have missed Ukraine by as much as 70%. Similarly, the decimated Ukrainian troops have managed to inflict damage on an army that, on paper, should be exponentially superior, both in quantity and quality of its weapons. But beyond the results and production problems, the most striking thing is that during the conflict its two most advanced units have had little to no activity. We are referring to the impressive Su-57 and the T-14 Armata tank, two projects that have become operational units, but have not reached serial production. The Kremlin's fear is losing some of the few functional units, giving the enemy a glimpse of the latest Russian technology. Picking up on the setbacks of the Su-75, even Kemezov admits that for that project they borrowed the equipment and engine from the fifth-generation Su-57, but with a configuration suitable for the new aircraft. The problem is that the Saturn Lyulka AL-41F2 that powers the Felon is not the most modern and efficient option. In fact, for years there have been reports that the Kremlin is developing a more powerful engine to be able to take full advantage of its fifth-generation fighter. The last hurdle the Kremlin must overcome cannot be solved by any engineer, but by a foreign investor. To continue the Su-75 Checkmate project, a huge injection of money is necessary to develop specific parts and produce a working prototype. It is rumored that the United Arab Emirates could be interested in paying for development and production so as not to depend on the North American F-35 or the French Rafale. But the performance of Russian aircraft and tanks in Ukraine might not be the best advertisement for an investor looking for state-of-the-art units. It is important to clarify that, despite the harsh criticism of Western experts, the Russian industry is fully capable of producing state-of-the-art weapons. In fact, beyond the few units in service, the Su-57 is an innovative ship with enormous destructive power. The problem lies rather in the deadlines and spectacular features announced by the Kremlin, which bring the Su-75 closer to the realm of fantasy than war. Only time will tell if Vladimir Putin can fulfill his expectations of equipping the Russian Air Force with some master move. Thank you for joining us in this new video of military aviation. We invite you to subscribe and activate notifications to keep up to date with new air developments in the world. We'll meet again in the next video.